Hey there, Free Spirit Beaters. This is Kristen Fagan here with Softlex Company for a new episode of Free Spirit Beating. And happy Earth Day! Today is April 22nd. I am going to be working with our Flower Power, the rest of my Flower Power bead mix. I've really used this mix down to like every itty bitty. Hi Mary, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I am feeling a little bit like a garden of flowers today on this Earth Day. I don't know if you can see I'm wearing like a crazy pattern. Hi Pamela. Hey Softlex Company Sarah. Good to see you. So we've got Sarah here today helping us. Yeah, Sarah, I think you were with me when I bought this dress like a million years ago when we were in Sonoma for a management meeting. I still have it. I still wear it, and it's totally perfect for Flower Power today. Hi, welcome, welcome. Well, maybe it was Milwaukee. For some reason, I felt like it was Sonoma. I do believe it was a TJ Maxx. I remember that part. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just a full length of colorful flowers. We are jet setters. Not so much anymore, but we sure were, huh? So today I'm going to be working with the Flower Power bead mix. I've got on the earrings and the bracelet we made in the last Flower Power bead mix video a few weeks ago. So if you want to see how to make these and this stretchy bracelet here, you can go back in the Free Spirit Beading playlist and catch that one. We currently have 10% off on bead mixes over on our website at www.softlexcompany.com. That is good until tomorrow. And I believe we totally sold out of Cupid's Kiss. So that was one of the mixes. And then we have about 9 Flower Power mixes left, and then they are done. So it's a good sale. It makes the mix about just under $10, and you get a ton of beads. And like you said, I've made these earrings, I made this bracelet, and we're gonna make 2 more pairs of earrings today with some of my leftover beads. But today is Earth Day, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our products a little bit and how they are eco-friendly. We have one product line, our Softlex Extreme Flex beading wire, which is made with copper alloy. And this is our products that come in the 925 sterling silver, 24 karat gold plated, and champagne colorway. So they have a copper center, and copper can be recycled continuously. It can also be reused over and over for multiple purposes. And in addition, all of our stainless steel products that are used in the construction of our beading wire for the regular Softlex beading wire lines are 100% recyclable as well. The nylon coating that we use in our products are derived from renewable resources, and they can be recycled. And then even our spools and the little clips that come on the spools can all be recycled. You just take off your label like you would any other product, and you can throw these in your recycle bin, as well as the clips. So just wanted to let you guys know that here on Earth Day, that you can recycle all of our products, packaging, including the actual wire itself. All right, so let's get busy and let's make some earrings. I'm gonna turn you guys down to my beading table. And show you what I've got here. So I'm working with 2 different trios today. I've got, this is our Serenity trios. Yeah, I'm excited to have you here today, Sarah. Sarah's usually not here on Mondays because she gets to go to preschool with her kiddos. So it's nice to have you with us today, Sarah. So this is our Serenity Trios mix. It's got our turquoise, fluorite, and bone colors of soft flex beading wire. They're all in medium 0.019 diameter. And your trios will come in 10 feet. So I'm using my larger spools, but this is the set will come in 10 feet of wire, 3 10-feet spools. Then I've also got my Neon Nights trio set here, which is pink rhodochrosite, turquoise again, and yellow quartz. And this one just really screams flower power. So we're going to be using those two trios today. We've got a pair of flush cutters. I've got my Softflex Professional flush cutter. Pair of magical crimping pliers. Some 2x2 crimp tubes in gold filled, and some ear wires here in sort of a, I think these are antique brass. Yeah, these are an antique brass color. And right now we also have, in addition to the 10% off bead mixes, you can buy any 2 packs of trios and get a free magical crimping plier. So if you haven't purchased this plier yet, it's amazing. You should get yourself one. And if you do have one, maybe you want a second so that you've got one in your travel pack as well as home. Or maybe you like to go beading with friends and you want to have a second pair. So this is a great deal. Like I said, today is April 22nd, and this sale goes on until tomorrow, April 23rd at midnight Pacific time. You can just shop at www.softflexcompany.com, and you don't have to enter a coupon code or anything. You just add 2 trios to your cart and your free plier will automatically jump in there for retail purchases. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. All right, so I'm also using my Flower Power bead mix. This is all I've got left, is this little grouping here, but the mix itself came with enough beads to make this bracelet, all of these guys here, and then I also made a pair of these earrings so that you can see how far they actually go. Okay, so the first pair we're gonna make today is we're gonna use the Serenity Trios and make this dangle right here. For anyone who likes big, bold earrings, this is a fun one. And I've got 6 inches of each color. So I've got a 6-inch strand of the turquoise, the fluorite, and the bone. Yeah, the mixes are really fun, and it's almost like a neat challenge in and of itself to see how many things you can create with the beads that are in the mix. So we're gonna use one of these little tassels. We've got, it's like a mini challenge, totally. I've got these 2 little glass beads there, and these 2 little like seed beads right there. What a great colorway for Earth Day too, to have these blues and greens together. They're just one of my favorites. So we're gonna start by picking up, I'm just gonna move these out of the way here, by picking up the turquoise color beading wire, and you're going to string on a 2x2mm Softflex crimp tube. I'm using them in gold filled, and I chose that color because these little tassels have a gold finding on them, so I decided to stick with gold. So you're going to string your crimp tube on one end, then you're going to take your other end and you're going to feed it back through the crimp tube to make a circle. And you'll see I'm using a pretty hefty length of wire for this, so I cut 6 inches. You could get away with less, but I usually just like to start with about that much to have enough wiggle room. And we're making this top loop up here, so I'm just gonna pull my tails until I get my wire to be the size of my first loop. And I did this by making a smaller loop, a larger loop, and then a little teardrop here at the bottom. So the next color we're going to pick up is our fluorite color. And what I'm going to do is just hold the turquoise wire down and slide the fluorite here. I'll pick this up a little bit and slide the fluorite in through that crimp tube as well. So now we've got a circle made with the turquoise, and then we've got the fluorite just straight slid right through that crimp. And you want to center it so you have enough wire tail on each end here. And then we're going to crimp. So just hold on to these wires, grab your magical. Here, Softflex is sharing a handy circle-sized chart that you can print and use to be consistent if you love consistency. Yes, I usually just kind of play with my shapes with the first earring, and then I try and match it up with the second. But I don't pay a whole lot of attention as to what those sizes are. So if you do like to have a specific size circle, go ahead and print out that handy-dandy chart Sarah just shared from our website, and you can make more consistent circles each time. So I'm using the magical crimping pliers. You'll see there is a notch on each side, a little half circle. Yeah, that's a good point. Some designers would like it to be a little more consistent, especially if you're looking to make a lot of these in a row to sell. It might be very easy to just work from a template rather than just eyeing it each time. So I'm going to place my crimp tube right in the center of this notch, and then I'm going to give it a nice squeeze. So you'll see it's sitting right in there. Push down, give it a squeeze, and it's going to pinch your 4 corners. Pamela says, thanks, I'll give that a try. In the past, I would usually just eye it too. Yeah, I tend to eye most things, but if I was making something over and over, that would be a good time to be a little more consistent. So after you put your crimp in your plier, press down the first time, you'll see that the 4 corners have a little bit of pinch like a ravioli, and then you're going to turn it 90 degrees. You're going to place that crimp tube right back in there again. Give it another squeeze, and then I'm just going to lift and spin that crimp, keeping it in the dome and going around 5 or 6 times, and that will turn it into this beautiful little bead. Thanks, Thomas. Yes, I painted. I painted my nails yesterday. I don't paint my nails that often. But yeah, I am just like a garden of color right now, covered in pinks and greens and yellows and blues. It's just it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tails of the turquoise wire, but we want to leave the fluorite wire in here. So don't cut this one, cut your turquoise. So we're gonna take our flush cutter, you're gonna take the flat side, go right up to your crimp and trim off the one tail, and then go to the other side. Again, I'm cutting off the turquoise, not the fluorite. You wanna leave the fluorite. So now we've got our first circle, and we still have our fluorite wire hanging out here. I'm gonna string on these little green beads, one on each side. Just like that. And then I'm gonna pick up another crimp tube and I'm gonna string that on one end. And then I'm gonna take the other end and feed it back through the crimp again to make another circle. And I'm gonna bring it up to my first pair and just wiggle the circle until I am about the same. Doing this on Monday morning is such a nice way to kick off the week of creativity. Yes, it is. I was a little concerned when I started doing this on Mondays that I'm like, am I really in for this on Monday? But it's such a nice way to start the week. And I'm so glad you guys are here watching with me. So we're gonna do the same thing we did with the other. Hi, Anya, welcome. Good to see you today. We're going to do the same thing we did with the fluorite wire with the bone. We've made our circle and we're going to slide this bone wire in. And I'm trying to be conscious about sliding it on top of the other wires so that it lays at the bottom of the, when I turn it around, it'll lay at the bottom of the crimp. Pamela says, I love making earrings with soft flex wire and kits because the earrings are beautiful and virtually weightless. Yes, they are. They're so nice on your ears. You don't have anything pulling on them. And they're always a lot of fun and bouncy. So now I've got my bone slid through about halfway. And I've got my circle and I'm ready to crimp again. So I'm going to hold down my wires. I'm gonna bring my crimping pliers in here, crimp right in the center, give it a squeeze, look to make sure I've got my little 4 pinched corners. Oh, and I should mention, you do wanna make sure that before you crimp, you're lining up your crimp tubes here so that they are parallel to one another? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So that if you did a straight line down, they would be in the same place. So that's just another thing to think about before you crimp. And now I'm going to trim off the fluorite tail and leave the bone. So let's take the fluorite wire. And so now I have 2 circles just like that. And I'm going to string on my bone 1 each of these glass beads, just like that. Now with this last one, I'm actually going to make a teardrop shape like this instead of a circle. So how I'm going to do that is you just pinch your wires together and you're going to slide down your crimp over both of those wires, just like that. Then I'm gonna pick it up, measure it with my first pair where I'm happy with it. So I've got it just like that. And now I'm gonna string on the tassel. I'm gonna pick the longer wire just because it'll be a little easier to work with. I strung the tassel on the one longer strand. And I'm gonna take that longer strand and I'm gonna feed it back through the crimp tube, making a little teardrop on this side too. And when you're working with our crimp tubes, 3 wires does fit in there easily, sometimes a little more easily than others. So just know that 3 wires does go through. In some cases, you might have to wiggle it a little more. So now I'm just checking that my teardrop shape is similar. I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller. So you just pull on the tail. And then I'm looking also at the little wire at the bottom where the tassel is, making sure those are similar in size. And I'm gonna pull that one up just a little. And when you're adding a little tassel, you wanna make sure that this loop here at the bottom isn't pulled too tight, because if it's pulled too tight, your tassel's not going to be able to wiggle around, and it may even be in like a weird position. So you want to make sure that this loop at the bottom here is large enough to allow your tassel to kind of float around a bit. So I'm happy with my size. I'm going to go ahead and crimp this last one. So you're going to use your crimping pliers one more time. Give it a good squeeze, turn it on its side, put it back in, another squeeze, go around, and then we're going to trim off the bone tails. Now be extra careful that you are not trimming any of your loops. So I like to take my cutters and just sort of move them all the way up to the crimp and wiggle it and make sure I'm not catching any other wire other than the one that I want to cut. The Serenity is so pretty. And you know, I don't use this surprisingly, because turquoise and like the really soft green and fluorite, blues and greens are my favorite. And I absolutely love bone. And it was kind of funny when I was doing this how I don't use this combination together that much. I use a lot of these colors separately. So it was really fun to work with it. So last step is just to add your ear wire. But Serenity is one of our best sellers for sure. It is such a pretty, all the colors are so soft. And then you've got that little pop of turquoise in there. So to add my ear wire, I just use the tip, because the tip of my magical crimper is a pretty large flat end. So I just use the tip of my magical crimper as a chain nose plier, and I just twist it to the side. You do not want to pull out. You want to make sure that you just take your wrist and twist it back and forth to the side so that you don't ruin the little loop shape of the ear wire. And then you put your soft flex wire in it, and then you just twist it back into place, I always like to make sure that this little spot here is as tight as it can be so I don't lose my wire. And there's our first dangle. Hi, Kathy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I think these colors are just so soft and pretty. You just can't go wrong. And who knew I'd make such a subtle earring actually with that Flower Power kit, right? And such a pop of color. So I'm gonna move these guys out of the way, and we're gonna make one more. And I'm gonna do this one with our bright neon night trios. So here is our second one. So same thing, I've got a strand of each. I've got the pink rhodochrosite, 6 inches of that, the yellow, yeah, these definitely match my dress today. The yellow quartz, 6 inches of that one, and the turquoise, 6 inches of that one. Yeah, my dress is very yellow and orange and green with some pops of this turquoise blue. So fun. I feel like an Easter egg. So we're gonna start on this one with our yellow wire. And we're gonna be using these glass beads, little bumpy glass beads that came out of the Flower Power bead mix, which is 10% off until tomorrow. And we've got this cute little yellow tassel. And that's it. We just need those 2 beads, and the rest is gonna be the wire. So we're going to do the same thing we started with the first one. We're gonna take a 2x2 Softflex gold-filled crimp tube. If you've never used our crimp tubes before, I highly suggest giving them a try. They are the best. They are seamless. They are double the thickness of most on the market, and they are just really a solid, nice crimp. And they work perfectly with the magical crimping pliers. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my first circle, match it up to what I did here. And again, I have it about the center. And then I'm gonna pick up my pink rhodochrosite. Kathy made a similar pair for an entry for the April Showers kit. Oh my gosh, how fun was it to see everyone's designs for the April Showers kit. I'm so glad you did some and posted them, Kathy. So I'm gonna use the pink rhodochrosite wire, and I'm just feeding it in the crimp tube on the top. I want it to be above the yellow wires, and I'm getting it about center. It doesn't have to be exact. But yeah, if you want to know what Kathy's talking about, we have a Facebook group called the Softflex VIB Studio. And in there, we've got a ton of members that are doing all sorts of fun designs with Softflex wire. And we run a monthly challenge where you get to get you buy a mystery kit. It goes on sale once a month, and then you can share your designs in the group and see what everybody else is making, and then we randomly choose a winner from all the designs entered. So each design you create is an entry, but it's not based on what it is or how good something is, so it's open to everybody from beginners to seasonal beaters. It's just a random draw of all the entries, and that makes it a lot of fun and takes away maybe a little bit of the scariness if you're afraid to share your designs. So now that my bead is crimped, my crimp tube is crimped, I am gonna cut off the tails of the yellow. And I'm leaving the pink there. So now we've got our yellow circle and we've got our pink wire coming out. I'm going to string on this glass bead, and then I'm gonna string on a crimp tube and take the other end of the wire back through to make another circle. And in this case, our bead is actually gonna cover up our crimp in this spot here. So I'm just gonna make sure I've got my circles about the same size. And this time I'm not going to feed in the last wire. We're just going to add the wire through the bead. So we can just go ahead and crimp this circle with the pink. Because this is a large bead kind of hanging in the center, I practiced both ways and found that stringing it separately, our last wire made more sense. And then you're going to trim off your ends. Let's see, you guys are chatting away over here. Let me catch up and see what you guys are talking about. Pamela says, I love the Softflex crimp tubes. I have them in all the sizes and most colors. And Softflex says, we are working on a new metal tone of crimp tube, hopefully coming soon. Kathy, me too, and almost every color of Softflex wire also. I know, it's so fun to have all the different colors. Softflex says, it helps to have the full crayon box when you sit down to design. And Kathy agrees. It is an amazing tool, and it's so interesting once you have so many colors available to you, how often you think about the color. I think when I only had a handful, maybe 1 or 2 colors, I didn't end up using them that much. But when you have more colors at your disposal, you tend to think about those colors a little more in the future when you're designing. So it's pretty fun. All right, so now that we've got this bead strung on our pink wire, we're going to pick up our turquoise and we're going to feed this through that bead also, just like that. And this one is going to be more of the teardrop shape, so I'm going to pinch the wires together at the top. And I am going to slide on that crimp tube. Anya, I am using our medium 0.019 diameter, which is where you'll find the majority of our colors are in that diameter. I think every color we make you can find in the 0.019 medium, but you can't find all the colors in the other diameters. So now I'm going to just look at my first earring, get that loop similar in size, just like that. And I want to make sure my crimp is hanging out in the center of where my bead is. And then I'm going to take my tassel and string that on one of the strands. And I'm going to feed that back through the crimp tube on the bottom so that I've got another little teardrop loop. And this one's just being a little bit tougher, so let's go ahead and shimmy it, and we got it. Okay. So now I'm just going to line up my loops on the bottom where the tassels are. And you just pull on your wire tails to make that loop a little smaller. I tend to do that while I'm holding the crimp. So I'm holding the crimp in place and then I'm pulling on the wire tail so that just this part of the wire is changing its shape to get where I would like it. And once I'm happy with that, go ahead and crimp one last time. So each earring used 3 crimp tubes. And then we're going to trim that off. Our trios are an excellent way to try a few different wire colors at once. We've got a ton of different trios nowadays. But if you like what I'm working with, this one right here is the Neon Nights. It's the yellow, pink, and turquoise. And the one I used in the first pair of earrings was the Serenity which is the turquoise bone and fluorite. And I also grabbed another fun spring one. This is the bloom one, which is really pretty, but I was trying to figure out how to use this one, but the colors just didn't quite go for flower power. But this is tanzanite and spinel and pink tourmaline. So this is a really rich, like spring color that's called bloom. And I just need one more ear wire. I'm using the Softflex Antique Brass ear wire. It's with the ball. These are really nice ear wires. They come in antique brass. I think we've got them in a silver color. I'm not sure if it's plated or filled. I think it's filled, silver filled. And 27. I was wondering how many trio options we had. Thank you, Sarah. 27 different trio combinations. That is wild. And we just keep coming up with more. That's why I totally wasn't aware how many we had. So here's our second earring dangle. How fun is this one? This is for someone that is not afraid of color and to really just go for it. But what I think is really fun about Softflex wire is that even though there's a lot of color, it's not overwhelming because it's very like elegant and dainty at the same time. So it gives you that pop of color without being too overpowering. And if you buy 2 trios, up until tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time, buy any 2 packs of trios and you'll get a free magical crimping plier. This is a $19.95 value, so pretty awesome. And it's such a great tool to have. I would almost, I have 2 right now, and I would get another because, you know, when you bead with a friend or if you like to go and teach, it's great to have. And if something ever happened to this tool, I would want another one with me immediately. So that's another reason why I would have a second. It is a great deal, Kathy says. Already received mine. Carolyn, love my magical crimpers. I have 2 pairs. See? Exactly. And we only have 9 left of the Flower Power bead mix that are all 10% off. And I still have beads left. Look at this. I still have a few more beads that I could probably make at least 2. I think for these little guys, I want to make another pair of these because I thought that this worked out super fun. So I think I'm going to make another butterfly earring in this same one with bloom. Yeah, that would be really pretty. And then I can't believe I haven't used these yet because I just absolutely adore this. But this would be very cute at the bottom. Pamela, I can't decide which I like better. I think the second one wins. Well, it doesn't have to be a competition. You can love both of them. You just wear them at different times. Yeah, aren't they cute? All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn you guys up here. The little orange ones are just adorable. And I'm back. Oh, here, I should put them on so you can see how they look. Sarah needs to go bead now. It really is a fun way to start your week. Look at this guy. How do I go back to work after this? I know. You do have to bead because then it gets it just, you know, creativity is such a calming source, right? Oh, look at that guy. So pretty. And you can, you know, I made my loops pretty large. I like big dangly earrings. especially because I have dark hair, or if I wear my hair back a lot, and if I'm not wearing a necklace, I like big earrings. But you can easily do the same thing and make each of these little loops smaller if you want to do something a little daintier. Thanks, Anya. Sending you hearts too, Kathy. Thank you. So that was a fun one today. After last week was a beautiful necklace, but man, that was a lot of work. So it was really fun. they, they have no idea how colorful you are. Yeah. I should just go out with like this, with one on each ear. Just totally go crazy with the color. That's probably back in style, right? A lot of the stuff from the 80s is coming back when you would wear a lot of different earrings. I can go out with 2 different pairs. So yeah, so this was a fun, quick design this week for you guys. And I wanted to share with you our video schedule coming up. Yeah, start a new trend. My personality gives it away. Thanks, Kathy. Colorful personality. So we've got on April 24th, which, hey, Sarah, that's this week, huh? This Wednesday, we are doing the design challenge with the latest April Showers kit. So the April Showers kit has already been sold out. We sold out of that one last month, but on Wednesday, Sarah's gonna open it up so everyone can see what the mystery package was. She's gonna design with that package, and the new one for our next month goes on sale on Wednesday at the same time. So if you wanna get in on the monthly challenges, or if you know about them already but you haven't been able to grab one because they do sell out pretty quickly, we have the Mom Rocks design kit going on sale this Wednesday at softluxcompany.com, and really fun. It's a nice kit. I'm excited for you guys to see the April Showers one too. That one's a beautiful kit, and I can't wait to see what you design with it in the VIB group afterwards, the VIB Facebook group. So that's on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook. Softluxe Company's Facebook page is where that video will be taking place live. You can always catch the replay here on YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We always move all the videos Sarah does on Facebook over here onto YouTube as well. So not only do you see me and James here, but you get to see all the videos Sarah does on Facebook over here on YouTube. I'm back here again next Monday with a new Free Spirit Beading. And May 1st, please go ahead and, yes, Chrissy, come watch me later. Once I end it, it'll get posted pretty shortly after, and you can watch the replay. May 1st is our next Facebook Live bead and findings sale, jewelry supply sale. That is at 1 p.m. Pacific time with Sarah Ayler over on the Softluxe Company Facebook page. It's always a lot of fun, those sales. They're open throughout the weekend. Mark your calendar though for May 1st, because the quicker you can watch it, the more likely you'll be able to claim the items you want, because a lot of the stuff is limited quantity and it's first claimed, first person gets it. So that's the next sale date. We have a lot of stuff happening on our blog over at softluxcompany.com. Today we ran we're doing every Monday a trios feature, because we've got 27 different types now. So we're trying to feature them every Monday, a different one, so you can see how they look in design, some projects that were done with it, some videos that were done with it. Today is our sophisticated trios beading wire set, and last week was Serenity. So you can see a few more designs with the super pretty Serenity pack in last week's post. Wednesday, we have some project ideas, free project ideas. Thursday is a color article from Margie Deeb. And Friday is a recap of all of our videos across all of our platforms. So if you had missed anything, if you check out Friday's blog, you will get a recap of all the things that we had going on this week. Super happy to be here with you guys today. Have a beautiful Earth Day. Get outside if you can. Enjoy this wonderful earth that our Mother Earth has given us and be able to step outside. We're lucky to have great weather here. I'm gonna go hang out in my hammock, I think, on my lunch break and just soak in some vitamin D. Take off your shoes, do some grounding, all that kind of good stuff. Feel the grass and all sorts of things in your feet, and just be grateful for what we have and all that Mother Earth has given us. And I am very happy to have been here with you guys today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one. Thanks for being here with us too, Sarah. It was really fun to have you here today.